wanting the person on the other side of me to like me more than I liked myself. And that's where the hiccup came. That's where like the problems came. And that's where the insecurities really started to manifest into negative habits when it comes to interacting with women, not reading red flags, not putting myself first, not knowing myself. That was the biggest real insecurity that I had to get over. It was not knowing me. All right, last year, 20s to now.
So what was your biggest insecurities from ages 20 till now? And how did you overcome them? So I think 20 to 25, I had some insecurities about my identity, but by 21, 22, I figured it out. So I wouldn't really, I was coming into myself after 20. So I was pretty good those first 5 years. Like, I moved to California, I was in my MFT program, I decided to move to Oakland. Like, I was doing really well in me during that time. I think after that, especially my quarter life crisis, my insecurities were as a wife, as a mother, and within my career. And these insecurities, like when I hit 25 and things weren't really working out with you, I was like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna have a romantic life partner. This was before I questioned my sexuality or anything like that. So I was like, I guess that's not in the cards for me. And so it was because I had been single for how long? Because we got together when I was 26. So 6 years at that point. So like, it wasn't looking good, you know? So I was
Time's up.
Yeah, I was very insecure about it. And then again, I'm very aware of, like, I don't need my partner to be college educated. I just need them to be knowledgeable and mentally stimulating. But I was aware of the numbers, and I had 2 degrees at that point. I was aware. So I was just like, well, guess it's not in the cards for me. And I was accepting of that. But I was insecure about that, because it was like, that's not what I wanted. You know, I wanted a life partner, but it just didn't look realistic at that time. So then once I did get a life partner, thank you, baby. I was so insecure. So this was my first long-term relationship. He's aware. This was my first healthy relationship. This was also a committed life partnership. Like, we began our relationship committing to each other as life partners. So there was a hell of a lot of growth and a lot of insecurity and a lot of relationship muscles that I hadn't flexed or worked out in a long time. Again, it had been 7 years I had been single by that point. So I had a lot of growth to do. And then just who I wanted to be as a wife, what you needed in a wife, like I was, ugh.
That's supposed to be English.
I'm thankful for the growth, but those were some hard times.
All right.
All right, so past that, a good mother. During quarantine, I had the pleasure of experiencing more time with Oso's family, and she represents the mother that I want to be, this new age intentional mother. And I realized how much work it was going to be. And I had baby fever for a while, like for a long while until that point. And then I was like, oh, it's not just a cute baby. Like, if I want to parent the way that, you know, my values are telling me, I'm gonna have to do hella work on myself, change parts of my life, understand that I am sacrificing a part of my identity while I'm gaining a new identity, and then being aware of how much I'm impacting this living being. Like, and I was like, whoa, not ready. My baby fever went out the window somewhere, down the street, round the corner, like it was gone. Like, I was like, whoa, not ready, I'm not ready. And every time you talk about it, I'm like, I ain't ready, nope. And it took about a year for me to go through my acceptance process and making sure that I was grounded in who I am, so I don't lose it completely, and I have access to it, and I'm able to come back to it. And I'm in a much better place now, just because I had done that work. And that was just, I was like, I need time to accept it. And I knew that was my process. So I was very thankful for, again, having that experience and exposure with your cousin, because I needed that. I really did. So I'm very thankful, and I'm in a much better place. I'm a lot more ready, and understanding, you know, what changes I will have to make as a mother. Let's see. And then career-wise, so after undergrad, I have been working towards becoming a licensed marriage and family therapist and practicing therapy. And now I get to damn near 30, and it's like, well, on to something new. And that shit it was some insecurity, especially because I was like, I know other people are gonna question me, and I can't, like, combat it with them. Like, I'm not confident in being able to, like, withstand their disbelief or their misunderstandings and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I don't tell people stuff. Like, my dreams are way too big for other people's imagination, so why would I put a roadblock on my dreams just because somebody else can't see it? I don't need that energy.
You see why this my man, y'all?
Not everybody's meant to, like, your dreams should be freaking, like, they should be, like, almost out of this world. Like, they should be ridiculous, because that's what they're supposed to be. So if somebody's shooting down your ridiculous dream, that's shooting down your potential to get there.
Yeah, so I was insecure in it myself, so I definitely couldn't share that with anybody.
Yeah.
But
Haters.
Yeah, but I think of course you planting seeds, you encouraging me, you believing in me was the biggest help. But I also think, like, you know, your consistent lessons of putting yourself out there, consistent effort, that kind of thing. You were drilling it into me, and I was hearing you, but it was hard for me to believe it. And then I watched the Madam C.J. Walker series on Netflix with Octavia Spencer.
So all this is like 2 weeks ago, just so you know.
Yeah, about a month ago now.
Right. So just so you know,
it's very recent.
Yeah,
it's
talking
very
like,
recent.
you know, I grew and everything was fine. This was like a couple weeks ago.
So yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay, so it was a month ago, and I watched the story, and it just reminded me, like, she was a woman during the early 1900s, and they hadn't even thought of a black first and then woman second being anything that she ever accomplished. Like, she was literally visualizing something that did not exist in face of all the hardships. And I was like, if she can do that, then I damn sure can. And that allowed me to believe in myself again. It allowed me to dream again. So I'm very thankful for watching that. Now, mind you, I watched that thing before, and it did not click in that way. So whatever you got to go through, the experiences you got to go through to lead you to that moment for something to finally connect, understand that process. So yeah, so I'm in a much better place. And then the last straw was my aunt saying some bullshit.
Oh yeah. Which was what? I want you
this
to
was like last week.
Cause she's talking like it's you know, I learned so
it's
much.
It's last week.
So this is like when I was 25. Nah, this was last week.
Insecurity still exists, y'all. But it was last week, and she was saying some shit. Basically, I'm gonna say what she was saying, but in more positive language. So you come up with how she was negatively saying this. I'm a content creator. I'm a polyamory advocate. I'm sex positive, and I'm queer and I share my voice with the world, she had issue with that. And I was like, and she basically was saying that I shouldn't be doing those things. I shouldn't be sharing my voice. I shouldn't be talking about my sexuality or sex or polyamory. I should keep that to myself, and I shouldn't do what I'm doing. And I was like, oh.
Well, now I'm definitely gonna do it.
Right? You know when somebody tells you not to do something, you just gotta do it. I'm like, oh, bet. Haters only motivate me. Yes, let's go. Subscribe to Life is Rocky YouTube channel, baby. You only said a word. Yeah. It's one thing to not believe that I can get there. It's another thing to say that I can't or I shouldn't. And now I'm like, well, now I gotta prove you wrong. Cause you're wrong. But yeah, so that's where I am as of today.
Yeah, as of today. Make a note of it, people. Just now, I've had to deal with all this.
I love him so much. I'm back in my own therapy. That's definitely helping.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Therapy, y'all.
Yes. Go to therapy. Check out our therapy series for more information about that. All right, babe. Last part of this question. And then we don't need to do the second question. We can probably go into either or.
Yeah, because we answered them throughout.
Yeah.
So in my 20s.
Yes. What was your biggest insecurities from ages 20 until 30?
So from ages 1 to 10, we talked about the chicken pox for me. Mm-hmm. From ages 10 to 20,
manhood.
We talked about manhood. I think 20 to 30 is where I'm at right now, is understanding myself in relation to I kind of have to divide my 20s to 30s into like two halves.
Yeah.
So yeah, from 20 to 25, that's when I was trying to figure out who I was as a person, as a man, in a relationship. So that was my longest committed relationship to my ex. Was from 20 to, I think I was like 25 when we broke up, 24, 25. So yeah, about a 4 to 5 year relationship. 2 years of no distance, so from 20 to like 22. So yeah, I must have been 24. Yeah, there it goes. That makes more sense. So from 20 to 22, that's my Hampton boo. We good. From 22 to 24 was long distance, and that's when I was trying to figure out who I was in relationships, like who I was, what I needed, and what actually were my standards when it came to relationships, and what I'm willing to accept. So my ex taught me a lot of valuable lessons, but I was very insecure about being in a relationship and holding up to those values that I claim to have had. So being the best partner that I could be, even though I actually cheated, you know what I mean? Being the best communicator I could be, although I didn't even know how to communicate that I couldn't be with somebody who was like thousands of miles away from me, and I needed actual physical touch and physical proximity to my partner. So just finding out a lot about myself when it comes to relationships and the woman that I want and what I want in a partner. So that, plus I'm going to grad school for marriage and family therapy. So I'm like,
and that's a whole growth journey in and of itself.
So I'm finding out and researching about all these techniques about connection and structure and boundaries, all these things that are staples in my just vocabulary and understanding now, where it's like when I see certain things in a couple or within even our relationship, I'm like, I'll call it out. I'm like, look, that looks like this. I'm letting you know I don't like this. So I just come out and be like, yo, what's up with this? You know what I mean? It's not looking too good. But yeah, I think that was that section. So from 24, 25 to 30 now was me finding out who I was outside of relationships. Mm-hmm. So me figuring out who I am as a man, as a a creative, as a male figure in my community. That was one that was unexpected. Like, I jumped in to the community wanting to help, and by that very nature, I became a mentor and a role model to a whole bunch of young men.
We need positive black men role models. So yeah.
And I didn't even know, like, it wasn't like something I set out to do. It's just like literally by wanting to help, I fell into that, and then people started relying on me in that way. And then I'm still trying to figure that one out a little bit, and balancing that.
I think you're grounding yourself more with smart love. And you building your manhood.
Right. That's really where it's going to come into play, because I found out about burnout and all those other things as well when it comes to helping out, especially young men. I don't have the capacity for it for everybody, to be real. And I just have to be honest about my capacity to deal with those things. Otherwise, I'm doing a disservice to myself and to those who could potentially be getting help from someone who could be all in when it comes to that. So, musicianship, producing, getting into that, confidence when it comes to me approaching and being social, me like approaching women, me talking to women. But again, like, it was more so exploring my own self-confidence. It wasn't necessarily about the women at all. It was like, I was hurt by a woman. I need to still be able to interact with women and be comfortable around them. So I literally would put myself in situations that I was uncomfortable with in order to grow.
Walking up to the baddest girl in the room.
Walking up to the baddest girl I saw at a party and just shooting my shot. Knowing that I might miss, but who cares? I have to prove to myself that, like, I can still go up to her and that you have the confidence to do that. Once I did that, like little things like that, I keep challenging myself over and over. I'm going to do the same thing now because I want to reacclimate myself to the environment post-COVID. You know what I mean?
We got to retrain.
I mean, I already know. Like, I'm going to be... I honestly don't think I'm going to be rusty. I think I'm going to be
excited.
I'm going to be overly eager. I'm going to be overly eager, if anything. I'm going to be like, yo, what's up?
Social one.
Yo, what y'all doing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, you want to have a conversation? I just need to, like...
Simmer down, baby. Simmer down.
Breath. Because it's been a while. I've been cooped up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that it was finding out who I was as a man outside of anything other than myself. Finding out truly who I was, how I'm like empathetic, how I'm like an empath, how I am sensitive. But that doesn't mean that I'm weak. That doesn't mean that I'm a punk or a pushover. Very much actually the opposite. Because I know I'm a caring and kind person, I protect myself and my peace and my energy above all other things so that I can do and share that light and love with everyone else. If I don't protect it, then you're going to get and infiltrate my peace and my energy. Therefore, I'll have nothing to give to other people, which is what I love doing. It's why I'm able to do this podcast. It's why I'm able to set up stuff like Smart Love. Why I'm able to feed light into you when you feel like you don't have it, and other people. It's because I was protecting it for myself. But if I just let anybody have access to me, you know, that's their energy that they could take, and they might not even do nothing with it. You know what I mean? They might just be like, oh, that made me feel good for that one day, and then that's it. Meanwhile, I put so much effort into trying to make you feel better or do all these other things. Like, before, I used to prioritize, and again, I think that might have come from insecurities, from the 10s to the 20s, of wanting the person on the other side of me to like me more than I liked myself. And that's where the hiccup came. That's where, like, the problems came. And that's where the insecurities really started to manifest into negative habits when it comes to interacting with women, not reading red flags, not putting myself first, not knowing myself. That was the biggest real insecurity that I had to get over. It was not knowing me, you know, because I think from the 1 to 20, 20 to like 25, 20, 29, up to 30 where I am now, I think those experiences shaped me, but I had to figure out what parts of those
you wanted to choose.
Me. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're not defined by your past. You get to define your past, if that makes sense. Like, you did what you did, but you get to decide the meaning behind those past events and whether they're going to apply to your future or not. So
Powerful,
that's what it was for me. Like that was really the change when it comes to 25 up until now to 30. Like I really understand myself way more. Always a constant journey, but now we be kicking it. I talk to myself. We be chilling. We be having full like reflections out loud just so I could get my mind right. Like all those things. Like things that I might have been ashamed of even saying out loud or admitting. Like, oh, I talk to myself, I'm vulnerable with me and I reflect. Like, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, that's what happened to those insecurities. How I got over them was really looking in, going deep and looking in. Sometimes it wasn't pretty, but I went in and I came back out the man that I wanted to be and continue to want to be and grow into. So that's where we at. 30, baby.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right, so that's the end of our Two Sides of the Same Coin segment. We are going to take a short break and come back with our either or, both and segment.
All right, y'all. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Peace.
For now?
For now. Ooh, I got y'all. All right, y'all.
Hey, it's the Real Family. It's your girl, Rocky.
And your boy, Elsa.
And thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell.
Right, because subscribing and hitting that notification bell does two very important things. One, it gives you notification on our new content and make sure that you're up to date on everything that we put out every week.
Every week.
You know, every week.
Every week.
And then number two, it helps your boy and your girl out with some money. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it honest.
It's so real, baby.
But in all seriousness, this is just like the video portion, the YouTube portion of our content. We are It's So Real podcast. So we have all these episodes just waiting for y'all on how many platforms?
11 different streaming platforms.
11.
So it's up to you to choose.
Yeah, there's no excuses. We on everything. So whatever platform you're most comfortable listening to stuff, your content on, we're right there for you. So look us up. It's So Real podcast.
And our link tree is available on our YouTube channel. Go over there, find the platform that works best for you, subscribe to our podcast, and hear the full thing. Because we have a lot more to say than what shows up on our YouTube channel.
Exactly. With that being said, check out the rest of our videos while you're here.
You know? And be sure to subscribe.
Alright, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
And love.
Always.